Good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Tuesday. Just trying to stay awake today. I have a good military story for you. It's kind of long, so I'm going to try to condense it. When I first got to Ellsworth Air Force Base and I had to learn all about the B-1 bombers, that's where they fly out of, home of the B-1 Lancers, one of the things I had to do as an intelligence airman is learn as much as I could about our own jets, and including the ordnances that they carry. Out in Ellsworth Air Force Base, there is an area far away from the flight line, but technically considered on the flight line, called the bomb dump. Bomb dump is where we stored all the unused ordnances like the JDAMs, the JASMs, the 200-pounders, everything. They put it way out there, obviously, because you don't want anything explosive anywhere near hangars full of your $2 billion jets. So it's a long drive out there. The only vehicles allowed out there are authorized military vehicles, which are security forces, maintenance. Employees aren't even supposed to drive their own vehicles out there. They're supposed to park an authorized vehicle in the parking lot by the ECPs. ECPs are entry control points. There's parking lots next to them. Everything in the military is spoken in acronyms, right? So I was tasked to go out. Airman Wheeler, my last name was Wheeler at the time. Airman Wheeler, you need to do a briefing on Thursday about the different ordinances our jets carry. No problem, Cap. I had three captains in charge of our flight, and then above them is a flight commander who is a major. Those are all officers, bigwigs. Anyways, I call the bomb dump. I make an appointment. Nice guys. And I go out there, and I have my brand new white Ford F-150. Yeah, Ford Ranger, right? So I get out there. I pull up behind a van. It's a van of their maintenance guys that are getting ready to go to work. And I realize they're outside the vehicle inspecting their tires. I almost forgot. You have to make sure when you drive onto the flight line, you always inspect your tires because you don't want to bring any foreign object debris. FOD, F-O-D. You have to do a FOD check. Okay, well, a good thing I saw them. I would have forgot. So they pull away, and there's a security forces guy standing at the ECP. Security forces is basically the military police, but in the Air Force, they're called security forces. He's standing there just watching me pull up in my white truck, and I get out, and I do my FOD check like a good girl. And then I get back in the truck, and he waves, and I wave. Nice guy. I drive onto the flight line, and I go 3 miles down the dirt road, and I end up at the bomb dump. And there's a master sergeant there, really nice guy. I pull up, and I got out, and I'm just excited. And he comes running out of the building. He's like, "Are you Airman Wheeler?" And I was so flattered. I was like, "Yes, sir, that's me." And he's like, "Yeah, is that your POV?" POV, personal operating vehicle. That means not authorized to be on the flight line. And I was like, "Yeah, it's my brand new truck. I just bought it 2 weeks ago. It's got so much room for myself." He's like, "Well, yeah. You're not supposed to have a POV on the flight line. Let's get you back to the ECP, and I'll drive you back over here." Where I'm like, "Oh, really?" But it didn't seem like it was a big deal. He didn't get mad or anything. He kind of thought it was funny. So we both drove back over to the ECP. I parked my truck. Same security forces guy standing there, just kind of watches us park, watches me get into the authorized vehicle. We pull up to the gate, do a FOD check again, and then drive back on the flight line. I was like, "Sorry." And he was really nice, and he wasn't, no big deal. He gave me the best tour. I learned a lot. I came back to the office a couple hours later, and on Thursday, I rocked that briefing. I knew everything there could be, and they said I did a great job. Not that big of a deal for the story so far. It is kind of funny, right? Wait till you hear this. 6 months later, over 6 months later, our entire flight gets a tour of different offices all the way along the flight line, to include maintenance, equipment maintenance, the guys that fuel the jets, the air crew that does the test flights, the touchdowns, the touch and goes. It was great. Then we end up at the bomb dump. And I had kind of, it's been months, and those guys were really nice. I didn't think the same guys would be there. Sure enough, we walk in, and there's some other airman there, and he's like, "Good morning, Intel. Nice to have you guys here. We'll take you first into this area, and we'll just kind of go over the safety. Everything in the Air Force is about safety." We go over the safety, and we're getting ready to go into the actual bomb storage area. And I turn the corner, and there's this master sergeant. I was like, "Oh, I remember that guy. No big deal, And he's sitting there talking about, "No, we got this over in this area, or the 2,000-pound bombs, and these over here, the 200-pound. Hey, Airman Wheeler!" And I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I turned to my captain, and I was like, "He's the one that gave me the tour last time for my briefing." And my captain's like, "Oh, cool." My major's there. He's not impressed. He was one of those officers that never thought anything was funny. Whatever. So then the master sergeant is all like, he was like, "Yeah, Aaron Wheeler was a real hoot. We still talk about you." And that's when the captains, all three of them, looked at me. Talk about you? And he was like, the master sergeant was like realizing this was getting awkward, and he goes, "Yeah, when she drove her POV on the flight line, that was pretty funny. It was no big deal. It was just pretty fun." I look over, and all my officers are like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm sitting there like, "Dude, X-nay on the POVA." Oh, come on, dude. And he was like, "It's okay, really. It was really funny." And the more he tried to recuperate that story, the worse. I looked over at the major. He was just swords in his glare, just glaring at me like, "Are you fucking kidding?" He was mad. The captains were laughing. And one of the captains was like, "Aaron Wheeler, was this a detail you just thought we didn't need to know about?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't think it was not part of my briefing. I mean, I didn't know how to save myself from it, so forget it." I just told him, I was like, "Well, yeah, but I did the FOD check." I thought it was funny. The FOD check comment is what sent my major over the edge. I had a serious ripping into after we got back to the office. And not joking, I was not allowed to go anywhere by myself anymore after that. I literally had another airman assigned to me. She turned out to be the coolest airman ever, Benny. I will never forget Benny. She was my best friend in the Air Force. But she was assigned to basically babysit me anywhere I went. If I was on duty, Benny had to be there with me. Couldn't have asked for a better person to be babysat by. But that was my my POV on the flight line incident, and I'm sure they'll never forget it. But I wasn't trying to be a pain in the butt to the captains, but apparently they thought it was funny. I guess I was only a pain in the butt to that major. So you know what? If I ever see that major again, dude, just get a sense of humor. Come on. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. It does make me laugh to go back down memory lane. So, gonna start work. Gonna enjoy my Tuesday. Thanks for livening me up a little bit. I do feel a little bit more awake, and I love you guys. I always just want you guys to smile, laugh, be happy, enjoy what you can. Don't let the whole world take you down. And in doing that, love each other, as always, right? And stay salty. Bye, guys.